Hello, my name is Lady. What an exciting time it is. You have a high school senior at home who is preparing and applying for college. Let's take a look at how you can support them moving forward with regards to financial aid. In this presentation, we will cover 5 main topics. First, an overview of financial aid and the types that are available. Second, understanding the FAFSA and California DREAM Act application timeline. Third, understanding how and where to apply. Fourth, the extra benefits for foster youth. And lastly, a local scholarship opportunity. This timeline will be important to you and your student. Applications open October 1st, which is when your student can start filling out the FAFSA or the California DREAM Act. Note that the sooner they submit their application, the more aid they are eligible for, as some grants are first come, first serve. After completing and submitting the application, your student should fill out their Chaffee Grant, which we will discuss later in the presentation. This is a grant specific to foster youth. March 2nd is an important deadline for students who want to be considered for the Cal Grant. To get maximum amount of grants, students should complete their application by March 2nd. Students are able to submit their applications after March 2nd, but they will no longer be eligible for the Cal Grant. We will talk more about this grant later in the presentation. After March 2nd, students should create a Web Grants for Student account where they are able to track their Cal Grant. After May, students commit to a college and are awarded grants, which they have to accept the summer before their first semester. This is a lot of information. Do not worry, we will go through it in more depth later. Right now, the important takeaway is that there are several steps within these applications and they are time sensitive. You might be wondering generally, what do we mean when we say financial aid? Financial aid is grants, loans, scholarships, and work-study programs that can be applied for to help cover the cost of college for students. What kind of aid is there for students? There are 3 main sources of funding available. First, scholarships and grants. This money can come from the college they're applying to, private organizations, and the government. It is funding that is given to students that they do not have to pay back. The second type is work study, which is funding students can earn by working on campus at their college and in that way helping finance their education. Lastly, students may be eligible for student loans, which is money students will have to pay back after completing their education. So how do students apply to financial aid? Simple. If a student is a U.S. citizen or has a permanent green card, they will be filling out the FAFSA. If they do not have a green card or were not born in the United States, they will fill out the California DREAM Act application. These applications are online and they open October 1st. Each college has their own timeline on when they stop receiving financial aid applications. Therefore, we strongly encourage students to apply by March 2nd so they are Cal Grant eligible. Website addresses are included at the bottom of this presentation. There are 2 sources of funding, state and federal. At the federal level, FAFSA students are eligible once they submit their application. One of these grants is the Pell Grant. Students may receive up to $6,345 per year. The next grant is the FSEOG grant. This one is first come, first serve. You can receive between $100 to $4,000 depending on your financial need and when you apply. Cal Grants are funding that is given to students from the Government of California for college. Depending on GPA and household income, a student may be eligible for one of the Cal Grants. Students are automatically considered when they submit their FAFSA or California DREAM Act application. However, remember they must submit by March 2nd to be considered. There are 3 different types of Cal Grants, and students may receive one of the 3. Cal Grant A covers tuition but does not apply to community college. Cal Grant B covers tuition plus awards $1,656 as a living allowance to help pay for books and other community college costs. Cal Grant C covers the cost of a technical or occupational career, roughly about $1,094. Next is the Chaffee Grant. This is a separate application from the FAFSA and the California DREAM Act and should be completed after filling out the financial aid application. Foster youth can receive up to $5,000 in addition to other grants they receive. Students who were in foster care for at least one day in between the ages of 16 and 18 years old are able to apply. Some benefits for foster youth include being eligible for the Cal Grant for 8 years as opposed to 4. In addition, foster youth can apply to the Cal Grant until they are 26 years old, and foster youth are eligible for the Chaffee Grant. How is financial aid calculated? Each school has a cost, which is called cost of attendance. It includes tuition, room and board, and any other expenses that students may have. FAFSA and California DREAM Act use tax and household information to calculate how much a family can contribute. This is just an estimate and does not always mean that is what a family will or can pay. The difference between both yields the financial need a student needs, which can be met through different packages of aid containing grants, loans, work study, and scholarships. So what is needed to fill out these financial aid applications? 2019 taxes for students if applicable, 2019 taxes for parents if applicable, access to a computer and internet, an account on FAFSA and or California DREAM Act application, one for parents, one for applicants, a social security number if filling out the FAFSA, a statewide student identifier number if filling out the California DREAM Act application. Remember, these applications must be renewed each school year. If you have special circumstances surrounding your taxes, be sure to call the college's financial aid office. A local scholarship called Napa Valley Promise is available for students regardless of family income. Some of the benefits are the grant covers tuition and fees at Napa Valley College, discounted parking permits, and lastly, students are exempt from the pay to stay requirement. On the next slide, we will cover the requirements to apply, but note more information is always available on the Napa Valley College website. The website will be attached below. In order to apply, students must meet all the requirements. A student must be a California resident or AB 540 eligible. Within the last 2 years, they must have graduated from high school or completed the equivalent of a GED. They must not have already earned a degree, associate's or higher. They must have submitted their financial aid application for that year. Note, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the financial aid office to process the applications. The applications are now open and you can apply online. Broken down into 3 steps, here are some important things to take away. The first thing is to apply for the FAFSA or California DREAM Act and then apply to the Chaffee Grant. Again, students must apply by March 2nd to be eligible for the Cal Grant. The second step is to open a Web Grants for Student account, check on Cal Grant status, and commit to a school. The third step is that through this portal, students will accept their Cal Grant the summer before they start school and confirm their college of attendance. For questions, contact your high school counselor. In addition, there are 2 people that can answer questions as well. Lady Tovar, Foster Youth Engagement, Napa County Office of Education, L. Tovar at napacoe.org. Mary Profit, Napa Valley College Financial Aid Specialist, M. Profit at napavalley.edu, 707-256-7316. On this slide are the website addresses to the FAFSA and California DREAM Act and Chaffee application. Best of luck, and remember to submit by March 2nd to be Cal Grant eligible. This can seem like an overwhelming process, but do not worry, there are many resources to help you navigate financial aid.